In this episode, you'll start to realize that packages to my house, they're never ending. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and before I get into the video, as I always say, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and of course hit that little bell so you can get all the notifications anytime I post videos. Let's get into what we want to talk about today, which is I've got a package in the mail. What's new? And it is from an Instagram seller. I'll put his information here below. His name is Michael. He goes by mjtcomics, and this guy puts out some heat when it comes to selling books. I've noticed for a little while now, nothing but keys on his page. And so the cool thing about it is he's very reasonable about all the prices that he puts out there. He's good at grading. I don't know if he's a professional grader or not, but certainly for his raw books, he is on point for, at least for what I've seen so far. And then of course, you're gonna see in this video as well that I got a graded book, and it's a big boy, very excited. So stick around and we will get into it. So the first book I got here is a raw book, and that's right, you guessed it, it's an X-Men book. Wouldn't be my channel without an X-Men book, right? So we have issue number 114. This is the first time that Uncanny actually appears in the title of an X-Men book. And it's also one of my favorite issues because it's when the team actually gets split. If you guys have read Claremont stuff, first of all, it's Claremont goodness, right? If you guys know, I've been talking about Claremont goodness for a long time now. And in fact, this also includes the John Byrne goodness, right? So John Byrne, Terry Austin doing the front cover, John Byrne doing the interior penciling as well, and Claremont on the story. And so this is the issue in which the team gets split up after their huge battle with Magneto, which again, if you haven't gone and read those, I highly recommend checking out the earlier issues to this. So this is kind of the aftermath after they are in Antarctica at Magneto's secret lair, and the whole thing goes to crumble, and basically the X-Men get buried. This leaves you with Beast and Jean Grey are the only two that escape, at least escape from the top of where their, the secret lair was. They were able to get out. The rest of the team got buried, and throughout this issue, they think that the rest of the team's dead. And it turns out the rest of the team actually, they dig through the ground until they get to the Savage Lands. And so it goes into this whole issue with the Savage Lands for the rest of the team. You'll see Banshee and Colossus and Storm in them, and Cyclops. But Beast and Jean Grey are the only two that escaped from from where they were at the top of the lair, the secret lair. And yeah, so they have to bring back the bad news, and this is kind of why you see this cover here being what it is with Beast and Jean there, breaking the bad news essentially to Professor X, and this really destroys him. And this is where he starts to consider going to space with Lilandra, the Emperor, and amongst other things. And they certainly battle with a lot of issues in their own head, right? And then meanwhile, the team is still alive, and they're in the Savage Land now, and they got to figure out what's going on. Wolverine's with them. They're all there, trying to put pieces together on what happened exactly after the Magneto, battle. And, essentially, without getting into many spoilers, I highly recommend reading it. But essentially, they run into some trouble. So I'll leave it at that, especially Storm. Storm runs into some trouble. There are some beautiful panels in here, especially with Storm. I'm a big fan of Storm, and John Byrne drawing Storm, drawing any of the characters. It's just awesome stuff. So highly recommend checking out this book. The other thing I want to talk about this book about is not only is it just it's a newsstand, which you guys know I try to hunt down newsstands. So the other interesting thing about this book that I wanted to show real quick is that this is not just your average, copy. Another cool thing about this is when I was flipping through it earlier, I actually found that there's a Mark Jewelers insert on the inside. If you guys are not familiar with Mark Jewelers inserts, they are very rare. There were about 5% that went into each of the books that they put their ads in. So it's essentially a jeweler's advertising piece, but it's a very rare piece to find. So here are some, just some close-ups to that. So I've always heard people talk about this. I know some people collect these. Usually it can boost the how much the book is worth by a certain amount of money. But yeah, I mean, if you flip through some, I know there is a list of certain issues that have these inserts that you can find. So I know that people collect them. I've heard a lot of people talk about them, and this is the first time I've ever actually come across one in my own collection, kind of by accident. So it's really cool to see that in here as well. Very excited to have that in the collection. All right, so the other book that I want to show off today is a graded book, and it is a very big villain that I really like. This is Spiderman, Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 50, the first Kingpin, and just an iconic, super iconic Romita cover. John Romita, certainly one of my favorite artists. Love the stuff that he did, especially on Amazing Spider-Man. His covers are insane. The interior pencil work is insane, and I think this is also with, yeah, this is with Mike Esposito as well, doing some interior work alongside Romita. So yeah, just a classic Stan Lee story. And if you guys know I'm a huge Daredevil fan. Kingpin is always involved with Daredevil. So to know that I've got his first appearance now. Before this, I had, if you see behind me, there is issue 51, Amazing Spider-Man 51, and that is the first cover appearance. But this is the first official appearance of Kingpin. And so, yeah, very excited to have this. Kingpin is definitely, I hope they show him the MCU. I really do, because he is just a villain that he fits in any storyline. He's a very powerful man. Even though he's just human, he's a very powerful man. And so, yeah, just very excited to have this. It's a 2.5. Off-white to white pages. Got it for a really great deal. Again, Michael, thank you so much for hooking me up with this, brother. I really appreciate that. You know, down the road, would like to have a bigger copy, a higher graded copy, but this is certainly a perfect copy for my collection right now. And I will definitely have this up on the wall behind me so soon after this video. So yeah, there's that. So there you have it, guys. Two awesome books that I got from Michael over at mjtcomics. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. Check out his sales that he has going on over there. He's a really nice guy, very clear communication. I believe he's from Jersey too, so you know, kind of close to me where I'm at. So Michael, again, if you're watching this, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate the deals. I will absolutely be reaching out at some point, because I know you got some other really good books on your page there. So I've been eyeing some things, you know, waiting to pull the trigger at the right moment. So certainly we'll be reaching out again at some point, my brother. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, if you take a moment, please like this video if you get a chance, and subscribe to my channel. And quick reminder, every Saturday, going live on Instagram. I know I said that before, say that again. If you guys are on Instagram, follow me over there, and check me out on Saturdays every 2 o'clock Eastern time. We like to have a big discussion about comic books with the community. It's a lot of fun. Go for about an hour long, and I do a lot of other things like unboxings and things like that. So hope to see you there. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys later.